Greetings and welcome to episode 46 of Theories and Thoughts podcast with your hostess, Arnya T.M.
Fancy.
Greetings all. How y'all doing on this fabulous Tuesday morning? Don't worry about it. Where my head at? How you feeling, Fancy?
I'm good.
Anything new going on with you?
Well, actually, I've been doing this manifestation challenge, and we set a goal basically, and then you're supposed to work toward the goal for 28 days. And I set my goal for $7,000, and I don't have it on my board. I was trying to conceive, but I'm about at 35 right now, and I'm just really amazed because I've never done a challenge like this before, and of course, I'm including everything that comes in, but at the same time, of course, I got to pay bills and people and expenses and so on. But I'm just like, wow, to think that I really set my mind to this. So also, I set a reminder for myself at 7 a.m, and then one at 7 p.m, and I go and say my affirmation. I have it set in my phone so I can make certain that I remember, and that's really just what I'm focused on right now.
Cool. I have been trying to get it done. If I had my way, it will be all live pictures on my website for Miss Thangz Boutique. So I had my as you know, my photo shoot. Where's my mind? I had my photo shoot on Sunday. I spoke on I would have talked about it on here, but I ain't get booked until Wednesday or Thursday, to speak on a topic, successfully single. So that was good. Thank you for
yeah, that was good.
Thank you. I was like, thank you, friend. I see your comment. I was like, my friend.
You were like preaching. You really made some great points, and you went into depth, and you could, support everything that you said. So it was a really good topic and discussion.
So that's what's been going on with me. What's going on with y'all? Mm-hmm. All right. So this week, Skip Bayless decided to go in on Dak. As y'all know, we always talk about mental health on here. We are such allies with anybody who has a mental illness, different things, because we're very involved in that, because we ourselves go to therapy, as we have shared several different times. Skip Bayless basically said that you can't be a leader and go through depression and anxiety. That's basically what he said in a nutshell to me. What he was stating was Dak Prescott came out stating that right before his brother passed, he was battling depression and anxiety, and it was times he didn't want to get up in the morning. Like, for them to tell him that his brother passed, they had to really wake him up to just tell him that. And he was having a vulnerable moment. And I just truly feel like this is why people don't tell. Why people that are high profile never talk about those demons and the things that they're working through. Because there's somebody like Skip gonna come on and say, oh, well, why you battling that? That's wrong. You shouldn't be. No, shut up. And he was like, well, I don't have sympathy for him. The captain shouldn't be having this. He basically made it seem like it was a weak person's disease, and that if you have it and you struggle with it, you're weak. It pissed me off because I struggle with depression and anxiety, and it's not like you can just turn it off. It's not like you could just be like, you know what, I'm not gonna be depressed today. It don't work that way. Sometimes it hit me, and I'm gonna talk about it later on in the PCOS segment. Sometimes it just hits you, and you don't. I remember one time I really didn't know that I was having a depression spell. I was at church, and I was so snappy. I was snapping on everybody. Like, I just didn't want to be bothered, but I knew I had to be at church. Like, I was at choir rehearsal. Then I went to church, and it was like, Anya, are you having a better day? I was like, why are you asking me that? Like, straight attitude. And then as the day progressed, my my minister of music, hey girl, my minister of music, his wife Carrie, pulled me to the side. She said, Anya, what's going on? And I was like, girl, I don't know. I'm just cranky. I'm irritated. I'm this, I'm that. And she said, are you battling depression? And I said, you know what? I am. And I didn't, and it's almost like when I put a name to it, I was able to conquer it because I know what to do, you know, how to kind of get myself out of it. So in that moment, I was like, you know what? You're right. I am. I'm depressed right now. And that's why I'm so irritable. So for him to say that, like you can just turn it off, turn it on, like only certain people get it, it pissed me off. And I had to tweet Fancy about it. Fancy.
Well, of course I didn't agree with it. And I had just started to really like Undisputed because y'all know I have a crush on Uncle Shannon. So and of course I appreciate how he, you know, stood his ground and spoke up for Dak, because I wasn't really familiar with Dak before all this happened, of course. But I was just really shocked by Skip. And then it actually made me go and like kind of research him, because, you know, I always want to be like, okay, what would make a person think that way? So he is a 60-something-year-old white man, you know, and basically it's like, it's kind of understandable. He did give a disclaimer, but of course I did not agree with that at all, especially like because that whole interview was really touching, you know, and I began to study like look into Dak's family as well, and just, you know, to even see his brother from, was it Chaz, that broke down crying and so on. And, you know, I just really think this is not the time. Even though, and one thing I want to know about Skip though, when I did research him, is that he's a workaholic. Like, it's clearly stated that his wife will always come like as the, how did they put it? Like, if his job is 1, then his wife is like 1A. So for a man, I think that thinks that way, I can kind of understand, you know, but again, I do not agree with it. And just, I was going to share something else. I'm just like, I don't even feel like going into that tonight, but no. And I definitely think that it's really this right now when we're talking more about mental health and encouraging people to be more vocal, and then for someone to make a statement like that towards someone who is less. He kept pointing out I don't know if he's the highest paid quarterback, but that's America's team. That's what he kept saying. And to me, that kind of made it even more of an insult. Like, just shut up, don't have feelings, just play damn ball. Basically, you know how people say, just shut up and shoot. And that's kind of what he was saying to him. And I was just really appalled. Now, who is it? Fox News did issue a statement, kind of like apologizing and saying that they didn't agree with his comments. But I was just really shocked. But somebody else was like, you know, what did you expect? So,
you know, Shala. Shala gave him Donkey of the Day, and he said that at this point, Skip is not really a analyst. He's a critic, because he's criticizing everything. It's kind of like he's turned to this grumpy old man, you know. And it's kind of like what you said. What do you expect? He's a workaholic. He probably depressed. That's probably why he's working so damn much. I mean, let's keep it real. When sometimes that's a form of depression. Like, you can't. You got to keep going, because if you're alone with your thoughts, your ass gonna snap. Maybe that's why he don't know how to handle that. So, you know, I'm not trying to put him down, but I hope he get educated.
Well, I think a lot of those comments, if he's bothered by that sort of thing, you know, because he's been in the game for some years, so he could be like, hell, I don't care, I'm almost out the door or something. Somebody said something about his contract about to be, you know, like time for renewal or something. I'm always reading comments, so I saw it.
It probably is, but I don't think they're gonna get rid of him, because he's he's informational. You know, he has that information. That's why he's been around so long. He knows the games. He knows, you know, the sports or what have you. It's just he make jack stupid comments. Speaking of shut up and drivel, 2 people have been on LeBron's case this week. So apparently there was a shooting, and 2 deputies in LA County was shot. They're calling it an ambush. First, the sheriff of LA County said, put out a statement stating that LeBron should give half of the reward, or double, or match the reward, to catch the not the killers, because they're not dead, to catch the shooters. Then Candace Owens decided to go on and state that the reason why people are doing this is because of people like LeBron, which LeBron said in May after Mr. Osbury's case, that we're being hunted. And she's like, well, because he put out statements like that, that's the reason why Black men would try to kill him. Now, the suspects have not been found, so they don't really know why they did it. However, it could be that. It could be they're tired of it. They're like, you know what, y'all keep killing us, we're gonna kill y'all. That's kind of like what happened in Dallas some years back. They killed some cops for that reason. They were tired. That doesn't mean that they're a part of the Black Lives Matter movement. They're tired. People are tired, you know. I know nothing about Candance because I decided I didn't want to know nothing about Candance. When you gave me the story, I read up on her, but I can't pull myself to listen to her rhetoric. I kind of understand. I hear all the time what she said. Oh, she's stupid. Oh, she this. Oh, she that. I just feel like I can't give her that energy. I can't give her my energy to sit there and listen to her and just be disagreeing. I know Cardi did something. She's been contacted Cardi so much and was trying to have a debate with Cardi something, because Cardi did it on IG. She was like, Candace, I don't want to talk to you. Stop calling me. I love Cardi. So that's, I feel like Candace is unnecessary. And as the article said, every time a Black high-profile person is in the news, she has something to say about it. As everybody always says and points out, it's self-hate. I agree that it is definitely self-hate when every time somebody is saying something about your brother, man, you have to jump on the other person's side and not just shut up. Sometimes you don't have to say nothing. It's not necessarily you have to agree or not agree. You can just be quiet. Like, just don't say nothing. I do that a lot. But I felt like the sheriff is stupid. And I feel like Candace is dumb. Fancy.
Well, for one, I do believe Candace harbors a lot of self-hate. It's really crazy because she's actually a beautiful Black woman, but I don't know. I don't know all her background either, but it just seems like every time she is mentioned, it is some type of, it really makes you wonder, like, do she have any Black friends? That's what I was thinking about earlier. Like, what Black friends might Candace have? But then at the same time, I know that there are other Black people that do support the Republican Party and are just deeply into this. So I said maybe she hangs out with them. But I just can't see any normal Black person just like wanting to listen to Candace. But also, I was actually watching a live today, and they were just talking about like attaching yourself to different celebrities or influencers, and I really believe that's what she does. So that's how she keeps herself within a news cycle to stay relevant, by attacking different people, particularly things like within the Black community. But I don't think that by any means should LeBron be held accountable for any of this. Like, where does he come into play? If you're going to be trying to ask him to donate half, then you should be asking everybody else to donate half, or why does it even matter? And nothing against the officers, of course, and of course I'm praying that they, recover. But why is it that he should be donating something when it's officer involved? Like, what makes their lives any more special than all the other lives that have been taken by officers? So that right there alone is just crazy. But again, and it's just like, to me, it really bothered me. And the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because it seems like anytime a Black person of influence that really has influence speaks out, then all of a sudden they're being attacked, in multiple ways, just, things that could possibly end up hurting their careers and so on. And I just think that that's so unfair, especially because I really admire LeBron and the fact that he is willing to speak out, unlike so many other people. And then you try to take that one person. You know, I don't want him to stop speaking. And so that's kind of why I wanted to touch on that. But of course, I don't agree with it.
LeBron does so much. LeBron gives scholarships. LeBron has camps. LeBron has a school. LeBron is damn near perfect. But here's the thing, and this is something that you have to remind yourself, because I had to remind myself this week also. People don't throw stones at pigeons; they throw them at eagles.
Oh, that's a good one.
You know, they gotta throw it up. They don't throw it down; they throw it up because they want to bring you down. And it's another form of I feel like white supremacy. Bring the black person down. So I gotta paint you to be a bad person because you're doing so well. You know, this guy don't have no scandals. He married his baby mama. They always dancing on IG. You know what I'm saying? No scandals. Only thing people can hate him for is moving to different teams. And I feel like he just moved to different teams to bring rings to it, to me. I mean, he's doing what he can. Why he have to stay with one team? You know, I feel like he moved to different teams because he wants to. Oh, you know, I always wanted to be a Laker. Let me go be a Laker. Oh, my homeboy, let me go there. Oh, you know, I'm gonna come back home. That's hometown. I mean, I just feel like he just moving different teams because that's what he wanted to do.
Well, I don't know. Does LeBron have rings though? I'm asking because I don't follow football.
Yes, man.
I've oftentimes heard people say something like, you know, he's moving because of, you know, he's trying to pursue a ring. Either way, I mean, it didn't really matter to me if he had a ring or not, because I really look at his character in that sense of just him being a leader and so on. You know, that's what I'm more so looking at. But I was just curious once you said that. But also, I think people have a loyalty to sports that is unmatched, and it's just a sport. It's just entertainment. It's just really something that was created to take your attention away from, you know, a lot of the main issues that people were being faced with back in the day. So the fact that, you know, that they get just stuck in that one place or feel like they should just be held down in that one place is already crazy. But I do also think, even as you were saying it, it's like, of course, if you look at him as an organizer, then yeah, he would be attacked. You know, if he can organize, you can be attacked. So I get that.
He has three rings.
Okay. Sorry, LeBron.
Huh?
Like, sorry, LeBron. You gotta go look it up. Okay.
Yeah, he has three. I knew he had one with the Heat, and I knew he had one with Charlotte, with Cleveland. Now maybe he has two with one of them. But anyway, that's all the current events that we have tonight. Fancy, who's our sponsor? Our first sponsor.
Our first sponsor for the evening is. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me remove our names here.
That's okay. Hey, Didi. I forgot to say hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey.
All right, so our first sponsor for the evening is Love and Serenity Wellness. Love and Serenity Wellness is a space for you to receive insight about yourself and how you can gain more love, peace, and stable wellness overall. So you all can find them online and everything is exactly as it is said. Everything's spelled correctly. So loveandserenitywellness.com, and on Instagram, Love and Serenity Wellness. All one word. And it's spelled out. That's a long.
Right.
Okay.
I was about to put on some lip gloss since I'm the.
Oh, look, let me spell it out for y'all. I'll give Anya some time then. So love, L-O-V-E. Look, I'm trying to see it from my end. I can't. Okay.
You good?
www.love, LoveAndSerenitywellness.com. So you all can check them out. Alrighty then. So moving into our second segment of the evening, we were switching things up tonight, and y'all, I am actually interviewing Arnya. Tonight's topic is PCOS. And she's going to be sharing her story. So I'm going to be asking her some questions. I guess, you know, I don't know, like that's how our interview normally goes. And you all can see her shirt that says "Our Teal for Me, PCOS Awareness." Is that one of your shirts?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So And then you all know that we always do the Anya's link so you all can see and be able to shop if you'd like to purchase the shirt as well. So, Anya, we're gonna, I'm assuming everybody should already know who you are. We're gonna start with our first question being, first, explain to us what PCOS is, for those who are unfamiliar.
PCOS is Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. It is a hormonal syndrome that that most women, a lot of women, deal with. It is where we have more testosterone than estrogen, and it affects our body insulin levels as well because of the testosterone. So that's what it is, and it causes so many different side effects. Like if you see the women with the beards, that's an effect. Obesity is an effect.
Okay. I'm sorry. I think I was kind of waiting on something else. So, can you tell us about when you were diagnosed? Like, and what was it that, you know, how did you even come about being diagnosed? Were you seeing some type of symptoms or signs, or did you just, you know, happen to be in at a checkup and discovered this, or how did that happen?
So I was diagnosed 10 years ago, October. I went to a routine annual, and here's the thing: when I was in my 20s, I had, so the symptoms of PCOS can be diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, mood swings, the hair on the face. You have, you know what? I looked it up so I make sure I don't not tell y'all. Irregular cycles, excessive hair growth, as I told y'all, acne, and as I said, obesity, heavy menstruations, light menstruations, spotting. You have infertility, depression, inappropriate male features. That's the hairiness and everything. Loss of scalp and loss of scalp hair and unwanted hair. So those are the things that a lot of women deal with. Ever since I had my cycle had always been irregular. So I would go 5-6 months without a cycle. And then when I was a teen, and my mom was like, what is going on? So I was on birth control real young because it helped my cycles. I would have heavy periods, like, I hate to sound gross, but major blood clots, like, and they didn't know what it was. I actually was like, I will be examined while I was on my cycle, and blood clots will be coming out while they were examining me. That was at like a young age. So it's kind of traumatic. When I was in my 20s, I was diagnosed with, I was borderline diabetic, and I actually was taking diabetes medicine at that time. And they wanted to kind of put me on high blood pressure pills, but I was like, no, I don't want to, you know, and different things. So I was heavy, but I ate better than I eat now, and I was more active. And my doctor always thought that I had thyroid issues. She was like, well, let me try these thyroid. You know, she'll always test my thyroid. That was back when I was a teen. So 10 years ago, when I was 29, my doctor, she just was like trying to figure out what could it be. So one day she just was like, when I went for my annual, she was like, you know what? I'm gonna test your hormone levels. And when she tested my hormone levels, that's when she seen that I had PCOS. But I had symptoms.
I'm sorry, what was the last part?
I was like, but I had the symptoms. Like, I can remember back in my 20s, I would get so depressed at times, or so irritable. And my doctor at the time, she wanted me to check my ovulation, because I don't know if you guys know, but whenever you're ovulating, sometimes you get depressed and moody. So she was trying to figure out what was causing these mood swings and different things, but it wasn't until I was diagnosed with PCOS that it all made sense.
So also, I was just curious when you said that they that it pertains to your hormones. So how did they test it though? Do they test it through the blood? Is that how they would do it?
Yes, it was a blood test. It was definitely a blood test, and it came back with all the rest of the think all the rest, they do all your blood work and everything.
Right. I was just curious. I never thought about that before until you just said it, and it kind of made me think. So what type of changes, did that bring about for you after your diagnosis? Well, actually, before I even say that, with the diagnosis, what was that like for you?
Yes, I'm okay. Just thinking back 10 years, because I didn't think about it today until early. I was like, dang, I was diagnosed 10 years ago. The first thing was, because whenever you look up PCOS, you look up and it says infertility. And I was like, I want to be able to have a kid. That was the first thing I thought. The second thing was like, nobody's going to want me. If I could just be totally honest, we're honest here. I was like, nobody's going to want me. I can't have a baby. And one of my sister friends at the time that I was really close with, y'all know my faith is like everything to me. She brought up Sarah and Abraham. And she said that, Sarah was an old woman and they said that she couldn't have kids. And she was able to have a baby, no matter how old her and Abraham was, he was promised. And she was like, if God did that, why he can't do that for you? And a lot of it was, you feel like woe is me, but the people around me wouldn't let me be woe is me. They were like, girl, come on. I got this, but sometimes when you're by yourself, you wonder why, but then you got to get reminded, because people are like, I was like, I'll see people do stuff, you see on the news, this person put a baby in a dumpster, or this person did this, and it would just break my heart, because I was like, well, why I don't have a baby? But then it's like, fool, you're on birth control. You can't have no baby. You're on birth control. And your birth control is working. You never tried. That's one. That's two. You're on birth control. You never tried. Number 3 was, I never wanted to have a baby outside of wedlock. So, of course, you're not going to have a baby. If that's your plan. But I know, it's always that scare of that. So when I was 35, I went to the fertility doctor just to see how everything's working down there, to just see where I was with things. And he really explained to me how my body handles PCOS, because everybody's body handles it differently. Like, I very rarely shave my leg. Like, I can tell you, since conception, I probably didn't shave my legs 3 or 4 times. Like, seriously, I don't shave my legs. I don't have to, because my hair on my legs are very fine. Like, you wouldn't see it. You can't see it. So how he explained it, and I guess I should have said this when you was asking me about it before. The reason why I don't get cycles is because my body creates an excess of testosterone. So it's right here. And as the egg flows into your uterus, it goes in. Mm-hmm. It can't go because the testosterone is right here. And so when a bunch of eggs come, then they can move it, and then that's when I can have my cycle. So what happens is I have excess testosterone and the egg can't get through. That's why I don't have a cycle, although the eggs are there and they're moving. So when the excess, also what happens is how most people's body handles insulin. When you eat, your insulin rises. It rises and it brings it down. For me, when I eat, it rises, but it has to go double. And so it brings it down. So then I have an excess of insulin also. So that's why I'm borderline diabetic. And you have to really watch your carb intake and different things. So that was a diagnosis. That's some of the education. I think he was about to ask me what changed. For me at the time, nothing changed. I just was woe is me for a long time. When I would get by myself, I think I was like, woe is me. And everybody always reminded me I was such an amazing aunt. You're such an amazing aunt. You don't have to worry about that. If you never have kids, you're so nurturing. You take care of everybody. And I think that's why Mother's Day this year just was just too much for me. Because I'll be 40 next May. And it's like, you better hurry up and get on the ball. You know, as you know, but I don't think our audience know, I decided that I was going to freeze my eggs because one of the things with people with PCOS is intravenous. Did I say that right?
I think you are, but I'm trying to hear the rest of it because I think I've heard that before.
Is when they put the egg in there, test tube baby. Basically. When they put the egg in there, in vitro, right? So I was gonna do my eggs, freeze my eggs, but I decided not to. Personal reasons. It was just really, I would prefer to go through that process with my husband. And that's just it. I would just prefer to go through the process and all of that with my husband. So that was one of the things that I thought about doing because I'm high risk, and I'm gonna be high risk because I'm about to be over 40, and I have PCOS. So I wanted to go ahead and freeze my eggs. But when they looked at my eggs, I have a lot of eggs, and that was before I even started treatments. I had so many eggs. It was like, wait, girl, you got a lot of eggs. So that's that part. Did I answer your question? I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, kind of, because I know that there possibly, I know before you've mentioned like having a nutritionist too. You kind of mentioned that about the carbs, but it seems like you do. Well, I know the nutrition part is it seems to be a big part of it. So if you could speak a little on that, I think that would be good as well, because I know that your diet has to change somewhat, right?
Yes. So now, because I had PCOS and I was on the Mirena, both of them, the doctor will always tell me, just walk. Because basically with both of them side effects is obesity, and it's hard to lose weight. So at the time when I had both of them, they were like, just try to get active, just move your body. You really have, nutrition is number one. And it wasn't until I decided, my father got sick, my mom has diabetes, and it's one of those things that I'm looking at people around me die over things that can be controlled. Mm-hmm. So it's time to do something about it. And that's why I decided to, I walk now. I try to watch what I eat. I don't eat as much sugar, because for me, sugar is a big thing. For some people, they like meals. Me, I like sugar. I love sugar. I can eat donuts every morning. I would eat donuts. This lady that worked in my office, she had candy on her desk. I'll go get a bunch of candy bar little things off her desk. Eat that after I didn't have donuts that morning, 2 donuts that morning. Eat that, and that was with kolaches too. Drink cold drinks, all of that. So nutrition is very, very, very important with just overall health. So I have to watch carbs because my insulin levels, and it turns into sugar so fast. It's one of those things that everything I eat goes on my hips. You know how people say that? Mm-hmm. So, hey Lisa, that's my sister. It literally does that for me. It turns into sugar. So where it may take other people's bodies a little longer to deal with it, mine, mm-hmm. It stays on me, and it stays on me. So I have to always be on top of my nutrition and everything. Like right now, while I'm working out and doing it, it's good. Everything's working. But the minute I stop, I can stop for one day and I will gain some of that weight back. Like that's how with PCOS it is. So you have to really pay attention to your body, know what you're doing. I try to drink a lot of water. As y'all know, I always have I have my tumbler tonight. I was drinking wine earlier, don't judge me. But I try to stay on top of my water. I was eating like a lean breakfast, and I allowed myself like different things throughout the day, but I try to watch what time I finish eating it. But some days I win, sometimes I don't. I don't beat myself up. I give myself grace. So say for instance, this morning, I'm doing intermittent fasting now. So when I ate today, well, I didn't do it this morning because I was like super, super hungry for whatever reason. But I had a breakfast on a bun and I only ate one bun. And I had water, So I'm watching all those things. So nutrition is very, very important. I did get a nutritionist when I was freezing my eggs, when I was going through the process of freezing my eggs. The bank actually got me a nutritionist, got me a psychiatrist. Oh, that's important. Yes. And I was like, I already have a psychiatrist, but just one that deal with people who are in that room, because it's emotional. Like the fact that you asked me, I wasn't expecting to feel that way when you asked me when I was diagnosed, but it's an emotional thing, especially with, intraveno, you know what I'm saying? In vitro is very interesting because it's almost like people are trying to make you feel like you're less than a woman because you can't have kids, procreate. People make you think that something's wrong with you because you can't do it like everybody else does it. And then you start taking that in. You harbor that. You harbor what's wrong with me, why I can't have children like everybody else. These people, and I know people, hell, they look at somebody funny. They pregnant, you know what I'm saying? And you start to covenant what they have, and you can't covenant what they have. My cousin have 9 kids. My favorite cousin, my ace, has 9 kids. She have 9 kids. But I can honestly say I've never been jealous of that. I just, she's never been one that I just was like, well, why she got this? No, I wasn't. And I'm thankful that I've never been that person. I only, dealt with myself. I've never looked at somebody and said, well, why they got all this? I have said, well, why these people having kids and they can't take care of their kids? I have said that. I have said, why are they killing their kids? I could have had a kid. I do say that. But I don't look at somebody and be like, why, it's kind of like whenever you see stuff on the news, you're like, why is that happening? And you have women in this world who can't have children, or it may be difficult. So that's why they have psychiatrists to help them.
I could understand that. Now, also, because and I don't know why I started writing down my notes before, but you said maybe 2 things. I'm still kind of like, when you said that about the in vitro, and then, so if they freeze the eggs, you have the eggs. I don't know, let me circle back to that one. But I wanted to know too, as far as with, you mentioned that about like the insulin and how it can affect your insulin levels. So is, just out of curiosity, could like fatigue be a part of this?
Definitely. Fatigue is one of the symptoms. It is like you could just be tired. There's people, like I was in a PCOS group. I had to get out because it was just too negative. But it was almost them and the Marina group. Both of them I just had to get out of. But they would literally be like, I don't know why I talk to him the way that I talk to him, why I'm so irritated with my husband. Like people think that I'm moody. No, these people have extreme mood swings, and it's causing them depression because they can't handle it. And that's why the whole piece about that pissed me off, because sometimes I could be in the best mood and then all of a sudden I want to cry. And I don't know why the hell, I just want to cry. And I want to just be in my bed and I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to deal with nothing. It just hits you. And that is a side effect of PCOS. So yeah, the in vitro is definitely, people with the egg thing. Well, go ahead, ask your question.
I'm still coming back to that one because I'm trying to like imagine it in my head. I'm trying to imagine a process of that kind of. But also, this is another side note, but there was a Marina group, a group of people that have Marinas, like, okay.
Marina support group, because sometimes they get locked, because Marinas can cause mood swings also. I don't know if people know that. Also, it can get lodged in your uterus.
Oh.
Or some people just want information on it, on the IUD.
Okay, I just didn't know. I'm still kind of just getting used to groups, so now I'm starting to see some of everything out there. I don't know. That's kind of different to me. But also, and actually, you might have said this, but I just wanted to confirm. Like, so as far as medication that you can take, or if you have PCOS, there is nothing. Okay, but the birth control helps because it helps to balance out the estrogen and the testosterone.
Kind of, so you can have your cycles, yeah. And it'll kind of help with your moods a little bit, and maybe your acne, because some people get really bad acne. I've been blessed. Let me tell you something. I've been blessed with mine. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm borderline diabetic and I've been on blood pressure pills since forever. But I am blessed that I don't have a beard. There's people with beard, women with beards out here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Big eyebrows, you know, mine don't even grow that. I haven't got my eyebrows arched in forever. You know what I'm saying? I have some scalp issues, but I'm not sure if that's attributed from PCOS. I don't have acne. You know, I have very good skin. There's some people with bad acne. Like and it's hormonal. It's hormonal acne because of their PCOS.
So is it possible, like, for someone who's had kids to, and I don't even know how you can't say contracted or just.
There's people who have kids that have PCOS. Yeah. There's one of my good girlfriends had PCOS and she's small. Okay, so here's the thing. Whenever you want to have kids and you have PCOS, they tell you to lose weight. But my girlfriend is small already. So for her to try to get pregnant, it was like, you can't tell her to lose weight. But a lot of women have the weight loss surgery. And I've considered it. I said if I was to get married and we had problems with conceiving, I probably would get the weight loss surgery so I can conceive. But there are women who have kids that have PCOS. That may not be theirs. You know, infertility may not be theirs. Everybody don't have all the symptoms.
Well, actually, my question was like, can you have had kids? You know, you've already given birth and then later be diagnosed with this.
Yeah, you could have had it all along. And you just didn't have issues with, it's not something that you contract.
But like, I mean, I got that. I just don't know how to, you know, I don't know how you exactly say it comes about. So it's just kind of like a change then, basically. Like, you know, basically or do you think, and this is kind of really a do you think? Do you think that our hormonal, like our hormones that we're, like the same way we're born already with our number of eggs that we're going to have, would the hormones be the same way?
I think that you're born with PCOS. And you're then diagnosed. I don't think that it's something that happens when you get older. I think it's something that you're born with, and it's just you working through it. Hey, Angie.
Well, you know what? Because actually, I was reading a little, and I did see that it is normally women that are between the ages, you know, like to give birth. So if you think about it that way, though, then, well, I mean, people have given birth like at some pretty young ages. But you know what I mean? Just kind of thinking since you said that. And of course, these are all just thoughts, you know, but as we're discussing it. So
Angie has it. She just said she was diagnosed after she had her daughter.
Okay.
And Lisa says it's genetics. Yeah, definitely. And it like once I got diagnosed, my mom was like, I wonder if my niece had it. Like she started thinking of people who could have had it. And that could have been something that they're dealing with, but they don't know that they have it. That's the thing. A doctor, you have to first go to the doctor regularly for them to say, hey, something's wrong. Let me try this. Again, before in my 20s, my doctor was like, she used to test my thyroid all the time because I was just gaining weight. And she was like, I don't know why you're gaining weight. What are you doing different? I was like, I'm not doing nothing different. And she thought it was thyroid. So periodically, and then my next doctor, same thing, GYN, they're like, what's wrong? You know, like, because I don't eat just a whole lot. Now, sometimes I do sweets, but I'm not that person that just be like sitting here with food just right here and all over. I'm not that person. So they literally was like, what's wrong? So that I think that attributed to it. The fact that I go to the doctor regularly and I take care of myself, that they're like, this doesn't make sense. Stuff that's going on with you don't make sense. Right. You shouldn't be 20 something with diabetes, borderline diabetic. You shouldn't be 20 something with high blood pressure. That's just not something that should be happening to you at that age. So they were like, let me check. Let me see what's going on, because there's something that's going on. My daughter has is very common in African American women. Yes. And people don't talk about it. And that's why I tried to last year, if you remember, I had people come on to tell their PCOS story, and I interviewed them. Every week I interviewed Shanice.
Yeah,
she's our marketing. I interviewed my my nutritionist. I interviewed a couple of people who has it. We don't talk a lot about it, so a lot of women don't know about it. They don't know to ask. My biggest thing is it made sense to me after I was diagnosed. It was like, oh, that's why. Oh, that's why that's why that. This and the other. But again, I took my diagnosis very, very hard. I was 29, and for you to be like, well, you may or may not be able to have kids. You may or might not this, and you have that. It just breaks your heart. But that's when my fate came in. And as I said, Chantel was like, Sarah had a baby at an old age. She was Sarah. She wasn't supposed to have no kids, and she had that baby, and you will have a baby, and this and that. And I was like, okay. I think that's when I wanted a kid. And then that's the thing, when somebody tell you can't do something, you can't have something, or you may not be able to have it, that's when you want it even more. You want it even, I want that now. So I think that I put pressure on myself. I wanted to be married so I can hurry up. And then that part, and then if I tell a guy, I've never just told a guy that I was just randomly dating, I have PCOS, they wouldn't understand. But if it was somebody that I was really interested in, I talked to them about it, because I always said I want that option.
Yeah, that was about to be my question. So actually you just kind of answered that. So it's not something you just discussed with somebody on the first date or anything. Okay.
No, I don't discuss it on the first date. If we're just having a conversation about just life and stuff, I may talk about it, but it's not a first date thing. I do tell men that I want the option. But again, I had the option to freeze my eggs, and I still have the option to freeze my eggs. It's scary to me. It's scary. I mean, you have to stick yourself in order to do in vitro. So you go through the same process as you do for in vitro. The only difference is they store your eggs, opposed to them putting it with your husband's sperm or your donor sperm. And when I went to the fertility doctor, it was actually, it was like I said, the first time was when I was 35. The second time was last year. I was 38. And I went through the whole process. I was at the process of going in to get my medicine to freeze my eggs. Well, you know that.
I really had thought you had went through with it. We never came back and I guess finished the discussion. But in my mind, I was like, oh, so she froze her eggs. No,
I didn't, because I'm really big on, I don't want just a baby. I want a family. Here I go. I'm a crybaby. I would like the family unit. I don't want to just have a baby just to say I have a baby. That's never was my thing. It was always, I want a family, my husband. I understand that sometimes that don't work out. I get it. I see it. But I want that. That's my desire. And it's hard when you express that you want to have a kid and somebody say, oh, you're doing so well by yourself, you don't need that, but they don't know that I have PCOS, and it's a chance I may not even be able to do that. So don't tell me, what I don't need. So people try to be, they try to, I feel like people mean well, but they don't know. They're ignorant. So because they don't know, they don't know to say, because if I told them where it's a possibility I may not be able to, then, the conversation may be a little bit different. It would be like, well,
I'll never have.
Right, So, yeah.
Well, I will say this. I mean, and of course, it often kind of comes up the fact, like, you don't have kids. I do have 3 kids. I was a teen mom. But I just feel like it's worth saying because, you know, I remember I used to be really just stuck on this whole like, of course, even when I had my kids, I thought that their dads would stay around. I have never had that to happen. Like out of 3, people wonder how you even have a second one with the first one. But my thing is, I just want to note, because I look at my kids every day and I know how much of a blessing they are. I know that just as it might seem that they were supposed to be with me. I was supposed to have them because that's what keeps me grounded. So I just want to say, I mean, and of course, people have different things that keep them grounded, but family is what you make it, you know? So we've never had like a man to just lead us as a family, but I feel like we are deep as a family, you know? But I just say that because I remember like how many relationships I tried to hang on to, like, oh, you know, well, I'm trying to have this family because I feel like I lost a big part of my, and I've shared this before, you know, possibly with you or just, you know, on live or something. Like, I was so caught up into like trying to find somebody to complete that family. I really feel like or either working so that I would be suitable for someone, that I lost a lot of time with my kids, you know? And when I look back on it, I'm just like, you know, or either just I lost a lot of time just being suppressed, trying to understand, you know, because to me, that's what I thought. Oh, you're going to have a kid. This person is going to be there with you forever, da, da, da. But you realize things change. Your kid's going to be there though, regardless. And it's just a difference. And I'm not trying to say that. I hope I don't, you know, I hope you understand.
No, I mean, and I get it. But the thing is this, I don't have kids. You're, what, 36?
I'll be 36 soon, yeah.
You'll be 36. You've been married and you have kids. I'm 39. I've never been married and I don't have kids. So it's just me. So our point of view and our perception is different. I don't take offense, but the way that we see things is differently. And it's not that I'm just gung-ho, you know, that he's gonna stay, but I done seen a lot of single parents and I don't want to start off that way. My mama was a single parent. I watched her struggle. Yeah, my dad came in the picture, you know, at certain times, but I watched her struggle. I've watched several single parents struggle. So why even put myself in that position? That's me saying, not being offensive to nobody else, but why even start myself off in that position? No, I'm not going to try to hold on to a man that don't want to be, you know, here, but I will try to make my marriage work. But for me, it's always been, even if I don't have a kid, you know, I could just have the husband and I'm okay with that. But the kid always was a part of the equation. I mean, the husband was always a part of the equation for the kid. But the kid is not always a part of the equation when it's just a husband, if that makes sense.
It does. And I totally get what you're saying. You know, we are totally, you know, looking at it from, I just want to just state that there are other options, though, you know. I mean, I totally get what you're saying. I can't, you know, put myself in your shoes or anything, or vice versa. But just like, and I guess not to be like a don't lose hope, but also sometimes, you know, we make adjustments. You know, sometimes the vision might look one way and then we discover, hey, that the vision could be this, you know. So I'm just saying, of course, you know, I support you with whatever it is that you decide. And yes, as a single parent, I have gone through hell and back. So I don't just being out here having kids just for random people or anything, or just to have a kid. But if you are in a position possibly to, you know, even if it's an adoption, you know, because there's still so many other kids out there that are in need. I just look at that as well. So, and even I've shared a little how most people think, because I already have kids, I don't want any more kids, especially since my son is going to be 21 next month. But I'm like, hey, I wanted the same thing, Kel. My marriage was just a marriage. It was, I don't even know what to call it. So I don't even count that. When people ask me, if I'm divorced or whatever, and I have to remember, like, oh, you are divorced. And I think it's probably been about 10 years too. So they're going to show, like, that was really nothing to me. My kids' dads were almost really nothing to me, and for the most part. So I did a lot of things backwards. So I commend you for trying to do things the right way. I don't knock that by any means, and I don't want anyone to think, you know, that, oh, Francheska just like da, because that's not the case. But yeah, so if there is anything else in closing that you would like for people to know, though, or
When it comes to PCOS, learn more about it. If you know someone, try to be sensitive to the things that's going on. No, I've been called bipolar. I've been told that, girl, you're just always so moody, but you don't know why. I can't. Oh, she said you look so young. You have a 20 more year. Just be sensitive to other people. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what I've gone through. You don't know my journey. So that's it. I would say, because even if it's not PCOS, it could be something else. Somebody's dealing with depression and they can't control that, and you talking ill, Skip. You talking crazy because that's something that you don't have to deal with. But everybody has something that they're dealing with, that they something that they deal with in secret.
Right.
But it's one of the things that I love about being a part of the SwagHer family, that this is something 2 years in a row that we have made sure, as long as I'm here, I will try to make sure that we talk about, because it's not talked about enough, and people think they're by themselves. Because I thought I was by myself until I started telling people, oh, I have PCOS. And then Angela was like, sis, you have PCOS? I didn't know that I have it too, And then you talk to people and you find out what they're doing to cope and to deal with different things and the things that they're dealing with. And like I said, my other girlfriend, she had it, and it was, again, she has it, and it's good to talk to someone that understands that, okay, I'm not okay all the time. I'm dealing with this. I'm battling something. I'm battling myself. I could be, shopping and have an anxiety attack there and have to stop and breathe and just be like, okay, and sing, okay. So just that, be sensitive to people, especially people with hair on their face.
Yeah. All right. Well, because initially I keep still wanting to ask something else, but I'm not gonna work with it. All right. So, well, because I keep looking back at my list of questions on the last question was like, is there any precautions that women could take or anything? But if this is genetically, passed on possibly, then it's not, So, alrighty then. Well, thank you, Arnya, for talking to us about that. Let me go into our second sponsor of the evening. Oh, let me share. Okay. Thank you, Miss Bettina. I did appreciate that comment. It's always good to hear. And Miss Bettina also said this was an excellent topic.
Thank you.
And she said, I don't have any kids.
Me too.
Okay. Well, so our second sponsor for the evening is TmoniqueNaturals. TmoniqueNaturals was inspired by the woman on the go with the need for healthy hair with less hassle. You all can find them on their website at TmoniqueNaturals.com. That's TmoniqueNaturals.com. And their Instagram is the exact same thing, at TmoniqueNaturals. I'm sorry, I don't know how people do this on TV all the time, read these things. Like, when you do the spelling, I think my mind goes too fast or something for that, and it's like always throwing me off.
Me too.
But and so, Arnya, did you have anything else? I have your titles here too, but I didn't know if it was something else that you needed to mention.
Nope. Just be aware and be sensitive, because just because somebody don't have kids, they may not be able to have kids.
Okay, and also you all can find Arnya on her outlets on Instagram.
Yes. So let's forget that. Remember, I have LadiCEO. Lady will spell with the ICEO LLC, where I have LadiCEO Media on YouTube. I have Ladies.CEO on IG, LadiCEO on Instagram, on Facebook, and I'm _A_LadiCEO on Twitter. Lady spelled with an I. And also remember, I have Miss Thangz Boutique.
And also remember, she has her shirts too. You better send up, just in case somebody didn't see your shirt in the beginning.
I wear teal for me. I also have one, Keep Calm and Learn More About PCOS.
All right. And you all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Fancy SwagHer. Look, I'm sitting here like I forgot my own stuff. I never do this, but it is exactly as it's said. I don't know. It's spelled exactly as it said. FANCYSWAGHER. People gonna be thinking I can't spell.
Why are you spelling yours out? It's spelled just like that. It's the ones that it's the stuff that is spelled weird. That's why I be wanting us to spell out.
But I know why you do it also for the people that might be listening, because y'all do know that we are on Spotify. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And if there is nothing else, I'm gonna go ahead on and close us out then.
Bye, y'all. See y'all next week.
Well, y'all can't never see my way.
Hey, next week is our anniversary. Is it?
No. Is it? Oh,
yep.
It is.
It's our anniversary. We have giveaways. Make sure y'all join. Y'all join in.
All right.
1 year. Bye.